Fam, what's good? Listen, you are tuning in to the first episode of the PG3 Check-In, brought to you by KMD Network. Listen, this setting is not just another podcast. It's not just a live stream. This is a community. We have open questions, open-ended conversations where we talk about how to become the best versions of ourselves. How do we have healthier families? How do we create stronger leaders? And then essentially, how do we grow and strengthen our communities? All right. So I'm excited to be here. I hope you are excited to tune in with me. So before we jump into this, all right, we call this the PG3 Check-In for a reason. I need for you to check in. All right. Before we jump into our topic, I want to ask you a simple question, and we're going to start every episode like this. All right. I want to know, how are you feeling? How have you been? And I don't want the generic answer that you tell everybody or what you expect people to say. How are you feeling today? I want the real and raw truth, all right? Real and raw truth. How are you feeling? All right, now that we got that out the way, listen, I want to ask one simple question for our first episode. Who are you becoming? Who are you becoming? In life, I feel that we have so much pressure on us, especially in this climate, social media climate. We have pressure on us to really be our authentic selves. I think we are often driven by those snapshots of what appear to be success, snapshots of what appear to be successful relationships, snapshots of those many takes. But the question is now, a question I want for us to start to ponder on this session is, who are you really trying to become? Not, the expectation of other people, but who are you? I think there's three things that we have to identify, we have to look at when it comes to who are we really becoming. Not who you used to be, because sometimes our past gets us stuck. Our past sometimes hinders us from moving into our future, because we feel like, because we've done this, or we've been successful in this particular arena, we can't move forward. So I don't want you to get stuck in your past in this moment. I want you to really consider who are you trying to become in this season. So the first point I want to bring up is habits. Your habits are introducing you before you do. So your habits are introducing you before you do. So essentially, your habits tell the story before your words ever do. So what habits are you building, or are you creating to become the best version of you? What do the routines look like? If you're wanting to, let's say you want to be that content creator, all right? What is your routine? Do you post 1, 2 times, or are you even scared to make the video? So what are your routines looking like? Those routines help us shape character. Those routines help us shape consistency. And for us to be great, it doesn't just all of a sudden happen. It's those small moves of consistency that lead us to greatness. So what are you doing? All right. So the main goal that I want to try to get over right now is habits will change your life. So I'll tell you something real quick. So I'm on this journey. I'm on this goal of losing weight here. I want to just change up, get healthy, and then I want to look better on camera anyway. All right. So I had to change my habits. I had to change my eating habits. I had to change my routines, my daily routines, my workout routines. All right. So instead of eating those things that I truly enjoy, sweets, I had to make those small changes, because I knew that I wanted to become a better version of me. So those habits start to change. So what do you want to become, and what habits do you need to change to get to that point? What daily routines are shaping who you become? So I had to, instead of working out, once or twice a week or whenever I felt like it, I had to get committed. I had to start going, 4, 5 times a week. Because I knew that in those small changes, going to the gym, in those small eating habits and changing those eating habits, I was going to look the way I wanted to look. All right, so I want to ask one question. What's one habit you're committed to improving this year? What's one habit you're willing to change or consistently do to get to the next step of where you want to become? Question. I want you to ponder that. All right. The second thing I want to talk about is relationships. Your relationships shape your direction. Who you spend time with influences who you become. Who you give access to. Who you give access to will shape and influence who you become. So whether it's friendships, whether it's mentors, whether it's accountability partners, what does your community look like? Who's challenging you? So you want to become this best version of you, but how do you become that best version when you don't have anybody to challenge who you are currently? You don't have anybody who motivates you, who gives you food for thought, to change that current mindset, to give you that shift of viewpoint. So who's that person? Who do you have in your community? Who speaks truth into your life? Because I think that's another big thing. Like we so often don't have people who really truly speak into us, into our lives. I think that's the difference between this generation and going into our next generation. Who do we have giving us that blueprint and that guide? So when we bring it back to our lives, whoever we want to become, whatever we want to look like, we have to find that community who's doing it, who's done it, and tap in. So food for thought here. Who's someone that has helped shape the person you're becoming? Or who do you wish you had? Or who do you need in your life to really help you shape that person that you're wanting to become? So the first point is, at the end of the day, your habits. Shaping your habits to become that person you want to become. Number 2, relationships, community. Who's speaking life into you? Who's helping you and shape you into that next person that you want to become? The last point, and we're going to get out of here. Growth really requires honest reflection, self-evaluation. We really, truly have to be honest with ourselves. Okay, do I need more discipline? Am I not disciplined enough? These are hard conversations because at the end of the day, we can't lie to ourselves. You can lie to a lot of people. You can fool a lot of people. You can trick a lot of people. But one person you can't lie to is you, because you know yourself better than anybody. So what is it? What is that thing that you have to truly be honest with? Because awareness creates healing. Real growth begins when we become honest with ourselves. So when we become aware, it creates healing. Healing then creates the avenue for real growth. So are you ready to be honest with who you are? So is it the fact that you need more emotional intelligence? Do you need to identify what it looks like to work through relationships? Do you need Do you need to forgive anybody? Do you need more patience in your life? Like, what is it? What is that thing that you really need that's holding you up from being that person that you want to become? Now, one good thing about this is growth isn't perfection. Growth is progress. Small, consistent steps to become that person you want to become. Full transparency. Even in this moment, I'm still learning how to grow and how to be the person that I want to become. So I want to challenge you. I really want to challenge you this week, going into your next week, or whenever you watch this. I want you to really take a self-evaluation of you. And I want you to figure out who's your community. What do you need to be honest with yourself? And then at the end of the day, what habits are you introducing? What habits you need to introduce to you to move you to that next step of greatness? So, I hope that something touched you. I hope that something has resonated with you. I want to thank you for joining us for our first episode of the PG3 Check-In. If tonight's conversation has done anything for you, has challenged you a little bit, I want you like, share, and subscribe. That's it. Simple thing. Like, share, and subscribe. And remember, the goal isn't perfection. The goal is progress. Every day, every decision that we make is a part of that progress. All right. So this has been the PG3 Check-In, where we don't just talk life, we grow through it. All right. So until next time, check on somebody, encourage somebody, and as always, you already know, go be great.